I couldn't think of like what liner I would say to start the video. I was like, oh, one thing is true, it's a matter of family. There's something about boxing. Can you roll the intro, please? Creed 2. So if you hadn't guessed it from the title, Creed 2 is a sequel to the first Creed movie back in 2015, which is about the son of Apollo Creed, who, since I'm not a huge Rocky fan, I didn't realize that Creed had his son by the time he was killed by Ivan Drago. But the first Creed movie was a masterpiece and blew everyone's socks off and blew their expectations out of the water and blew... Hold on. Yes. Yes, it can. And it did. One thing that makes these movies even hard to compare is that the second one is a completely different type of story. This one is more about redemption, at least in the first act of it. And there's so much at stake on Adonis' side because, well, actually, let me give you the plot of the movie first. Don is at the height of his career. He just took the heavyweight title. But here comes Ivan Drago's son. Yeah, remember that guy? He's got a son now. And this is what he looks like. I don't want any part of him. But Donnie does, and it's like, well, because his dad killed my dad, I have to make things right. This is a fight for me. Goes into it with the wrong mindset. Everybody's worried about him. It's like, hey, your father died having that exact same attitude that you have. Rocky's not in his corner. He's got too much to lose. He's about to get married. He's got a kid on the way. There's just a lot going on Adonis' side. However, there's a lot going on with the Dragos, too. Apparently, losing that fight to Rocky had more of an effect on Ivan's life than we thought. Which is weird because fighters lose fights. It just kind of happens. But when it all comes down to it, this movie is really about family. I know people say, like, Deadpool 2 is a family movie. No, this movie is a family movie. It's about what family means and what it's worth and what you'll do to protect it. The Drago family, the Balboa family, the Creed family, they've all got their own stories going on and they all work really well, especially when they all come to a head in the third act of the film. Now, on the topic of family, the father-son-teacher relationship between Rocky and Creed is really what makes this movie, at least in my opinion. And if we're going to talk about performances, I mean, we have to talk about Victor Creed. Victor Creed. I knew I was going to do it once. Let me explain that. Victor Creed is Sabretooth and Wolverine's brother in the first X-Men Origins movie. It's not my fault. You have a man named Victor and a man named Blank Creed. What am I supposed to end up doing with my comic book mind, dude? Don't judge me. Get out of the comments. But Victor Drago, I mean, for an antagonist in a boxing movie, you get to find out surprisingly a lot about his life. Not enough to really make him seem like he was a very nuanced character. At least he was lacking one thing that I was hoping he'd have, and it was that he's not the same type of person that his dad is. But I guess it makes sense. But he is fleshed out just enough to be sympathetic. There's just enough information about him in there to really be like, okay, I get his side. I also didn't realize that Dolph Lundgren would be in the film until I saw a poster with him on it last week. Would you look at that? He's in the movie a lot. Like, a lot. I also didn't realize that Dolph Lundgren would be in the film until I saw a poster with him on it last week. Would you look at that? He's in the movie a lot. Like, a lot. Sorry, I told someone that I would do parts of the review in a Russian accent. That's the only time that's going to happen, I promise. Now, I talked earlier about the relationship between Rocky and Adonis. That's not the only thing that makes this movie great, but it is heavily influenced by the great performances between Sylvester Stallone and Michael B. Jordan. Phenomenal actors, especially Michael. He's having a great year, but he's only been in one great movie this year. What do you know? But Tessa, Dolph, Florian, they all do a great job. Especially, okay, Victor Drago. He's a very interesting character for a lot of reasons, even though he doesn't really speak a whole lot. Like, I think he has like maybe 15 lines in the entire movie. But when you see him and Adonis in the ring together, it's kind of hard to believe that they're in the same weight class. It's like, don't you need like a new heavy weight class or something like that for Victor? They shouldn't be allowed to fight, that's all I'm saying. But on the topic of fights, very well done, very well choreographed, well edited. I just wish we'd seen more fighting. I expected the fight at the end of the movie to be the entire fight, kind of like they did the Live Aid performance at the end of Bohemian Rhapsody, just the whole thing. But I was just a little disappointed by that. Also, the soundtrack, I found out that this movie was scored by Ludwig Göransson, who scored these two, so I guess it makes sense. But I could not get enough of the music in the movie. Like, there was so much working for this movie. How can I not give it the rating that I'm gonna end up giving it? Because in the end, Creed 2 delivers a solid emotional story, hits you right in the ribs, it nails a passage of time, it's shot well, it's choreographed well, it's edited well, Everything in this movie works for it, and in the end, it makes it spectabulous. Don't lose your socks, okay? I haven't given too many spectabuli this year, alright? Don't worry about it. But Creed 2, are you looking forward to seeing it this Thanksgiving weekend? If so, let me know what you think about it. Watch this review, go see the movie, come back to this review and tell me what you thought of the movie. Video end.